So,
it's weird to look at a camera.
Hey,
hello.
Almost see ourselves.
This is what OnlyFans feels like.
Does it?
Yeah, but
Is
with clothes
it?
on.
Oh
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Is that how it feels? I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I've just never looked at the camera before.
This is the please keep your clothes on.
Podcast.
It's the Real Salt Lake OF. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what that means.
Two bald guys and receding hairline.
What?
All right. So anyway, before we get too inappropriate, why don't we get started? Get caught up. See where we're at. RSL is into the preseason. They headed off to
Portugal.
Portugal. We thought we'd go over some of the. What are you gonna work on?
Some of the what? People that are in preseason camp
On the
That-
current roster.
could make the roster. People that are guest players, players that are players. That made no sense. I get it. They're playing on our team, but we don't know who they are yet.
Yeah. So we know who Chicho is, right?
Yeah.
He is on there.
Okay.
I don't think he's
Chicho
in.
Rongo?
I don't think he's in town yet.
Oh yeah.
He's in Colombia working on a green card.
Yeah, which is
Who
cool.
is? Who is?
Chicho.
Chicho
Which
is?
is cool. If he gets a green card, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you have to be
Stay
here, like,
longer.
5 years out of 4, 4 out of 5, or 5 out of 6, something like that. Anyway, I don't know all the rules, but there's something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have Fidel Barajas, the young man we signed,
Baraja.
that we picked up from USL.
Yeah.
Mexican International.
It lists him at 5'9", 170, but I think he's about 5'9", 130. Have you seen that kid? He's skinny.
He's a tiny little guy.
Yeah.
Well, he's feisty and he shoots at the goal, so that's always a positive.
Maybe he is 170, but, you know, maybe it's in his arms that are hidden inside his jersey. I don't know. He just... Anyway,
He needs more protein. Protein.
Gavin Beavers.
Gavin Beavers.
He plays goalie.
Hey, he does.
He's a big kid.
Get him in there.
6'4". Yeah.
Get him in there.
Yep.
He falls over sometimes.
We'll see what happens. He's the backup for our current keeper, Zach McMath. And then we also have
Out of Marshall,
Matthew Bell.
who is a Jamaican man. So maybe he's friends with
Kevin Lambert.
our boy.
We have him listed as unsigned, but he was drafted. Then Kevin Bonilla. They really like him.
Mhm.
They've added him because he's in blue.
Yeah, he's in out of Texas, hometown.
Left back. And then also Andrew Brody, Michael Chang, Emeka Nelly, Zach Farnsworth. This has got to be the season of the Zach. He's
From
gotta-
Cedar Hills, Utah. Zach Farnsworth, Utah kid, Utah product, Utah born and raised, Utah.
And he's constantly broken.
Dang it.
This is his season.
This is
He's
the
gonna
year.
put
This
it
is
all
the
together.
one.
He's gonna put it together this year.
What's his position?
He's a center back.
Center
Center
back,
back?
left back.
Really? All right.
Then
I think
also
he's left, right? You say
also-
he's left, right?
Justin Glad.
Yeah.
This has got to be a big season for Justin.
Yeah.
It has to.
I think we'll see if last year was kind of an anomaly, but it seemed like he kind of plateaued and did not have a Justin Glad-like season.
Right.
But they have him in training camp. We got Xavier, Gozo,
Saw
who,
him once. That was
who
good.
they have high hopes for him.
You got a few minutes at one game.
Andres Gomez, who I think they're expecting, with the limited amount of rumors that we've seen,
Heard. We
heard,
don't see rumors.
Wait,
read. See, I
Wait.
saw it on Twitter.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
wait,
you
wait.
saw it on Twitter.
just a sec, before we go there. Gozo's from Eagle Mountain?
No way.
That's what it says on this hometown thing. Is he from Eagle Mountain?
No.
Is that real?
I guess so.
He's a Utah kid too?
Oh,
Oh
yeah, now
my
Tyler
gosh,
just
now we got a
on
new
and on.
favorite.
Oh yeah, buddy! I love it. Carry on.
Andres Gomez, who is expected to have a big year. Like I was saying, a lot of these, we haven't seen a lot of rumors or heard a lot of rumors about bringing in players to play up next to Chicho. So the
Could be
thought
him.
could be hoping that these young players are going to step up and give them an opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe they give them an opportunity and see what happens before the summer transfer window. Pick up some players in the summer
Transfer already ended?
Transfer window goes until April 23rd.
Oh, yeah, we got time.
So there could be players brought
They're
in.
searching.
And you want to get it right. You'd rather have them get it right than
Especially since we just upped the income. I mean,
Yeah.
that's going to be costly if they're just like, let's just get another guy in here.
get somebody who failed in the Premier League or fell out of the championship or...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't always work. You got to be careful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then after Andres Gomez, there's this Tomas Gomez. I don't know if you guys.
I don't know if he's real. I mean, he shows up at games and sits on the sideline.
He walked
But
in
I don't know
from
if he
the
can play goalie. I mean,
I don't really either.
he did play that one game that was like an exhibition game, but
Oh, really? I walked in
Still.
right behind him when we did the press. It
Oh,
was
yeah?
Nice. Him and Holt.
Yeah.
Holt's got a beard like he's like a mass murderer, man.
And then Bodie Hidalgo, Eric Holt, the aforementioned Eric Holt with the serial killer beard, Bertine Jockerson, Anderson Julio, who I imagine that some of these players are, a lot of these players are on the last year of their contract.
Oh,
So we will see how that plays out. Axel Kai, I believe that they expect him to get some starting minutes released.
So he's gonna play for the starting
Axel Kai,
for RSL. He's not gonna be on Monarchs.
the 16-year-old kid from
No,
the Ivory Coast.
Just all the stuff on Twitter
He's a good kid.
and everybody making assumptions that if they aren't going to bring in some established players up top, and we've let players go, we let Rubio Rubin, he's out on loan, and make him some noise in, where's he playing?
Querétaro.
And then Kevin Lambert,
Love that play.
Diego
I
Luna.
just like to say it. It's fun to say.
Diego Luna, who have big things expected from Diego, but also he's probably going to be missing some games when the Olympics roll
Oh
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna be gone.
Yeah, so it's hard to build around him if we know he's going to be gone for a big part of the year, which is too bad because I think he was getting to the point where he was becoming one of the most important people on the field. Not the
True.
most,
He
but
was.
he was getting close.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as an RSL fan, I love that he's going to these USA games, but also like,
It'd
he's
be
got
nice if we had somebody that wasn't on the U.S. radar.
like just fly just a touch under. No, it's
Well, that's the
it's
same
good.
with Fidel.
It's good for him long term.
We'll see what happens with Fidel because I know he's the Mexican national team. So.
Yeah, he is, and he's also U21, I think.
Yep.
And then we've got Lucas Moisa, who is
Draft
homegrown,
Luca Moisa, little guy from Vegas.
but we got him listed as homegrown in the Monarchs. Brian Ojeda, who we are huge fans
Oh,
of.
Yes, we are. I hope he has a wonderful season. That guy just needs goals. I think that'll change his
Yeah.
entire identity on
Once
the
he
team.
hits one of those from about the 18, it just smashes it into
yeah.
the goal.
Man, it's done and
Yeah.
deal. He's going back to the Premier League.
And then
Hopefully
Yaziel Orozco. We've all been
He's
following
back.
him.
He's back, or is he
back?
back on loan still?
He's still on the.
I think he's back. I think
He's on the roster.
And then Brian Oviedo, Elijah Paul, Delance Pierre.
Nelson Palacio.
Nelson Palacio. Expect big things from him. Luis Rivera, Rubio Rubin, and it does say that Yaziel is out on loan, and Rubio Rubin is out on loan, as we mentioned. And Thomas Roberts, I saw a little bit of him. I think he played with the Columbus Crew. I was noticing that on Twitter. Somebody mentioned that. I think
Still
that was
young,
him.
22 years old.
Oh wow.
It was either him or and then Pablo Ruiz. Hopefully he's coming back from injury. And then Marcelo Silva, Tommy Silva, who is a homegrown, and then everyone's favorite, the
Vera.
Brian Verrett with the Hollywood leading man good looks, according to someone
Your
I
wife. Someone close to me, an
Someone-
inside source.
inside source who when they were announcing him in the game, ooh, who's that? He looks like a Hollywood movie star. It's like, well, I guess he's going on your list.
And the last but not least, the guy who does not look like a Hollywood movie star.
That we know of.
He looks like more like that singer. What's that singer guy? The redhead guy from England?
Rick Astley.
No.
Is he never going to give you up?
It
Never
kind
gonna
of looks
let
like
you
a
down?
Rick Astley.
Never going to run around and
Yeah.
desert you?
Well, who's the new guy?
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, there you go. Ed Sheeran. Jude Welling / Ed Sheeran.
Oh, he's a
Nice.
good player too.
Yeah.
And then RSL currently is on the road, away in Portugal, and they have some games coming up. The first one is Saturday, February 3rd, 11 a.m. Eastern, versus Brøndby. They're playing in the incredibly prestigious Atlantic Cup.
Yes.
Yeah, well known.
And, you know.
We really hope we can bring that cup home, where it belongs.
Bring it home!
Yeah, bring it home.
And then
Sorry, I didn't even sing with a British accent. That's so bad of me.
February 6th, they play Fredrikstad. And then February 9th, Klaksvikar.
Well
They
said.
lacked the car.
Well said.
Yeah.
And then February 14th, it is to be announced. It's a Valentine's special. Be sure to bring
Toronto.
someone you love to
To
watch
Santa
the
Barbara?
Toronto FC game
And
at Santa Barbara. Yeah.
Community college.
We have a special
Just kidding.
giveaway. No, just kidding. Send some lucky listeners to Santa Barbara.
We can't afford Santa Barbara.
Gas money.
Expense change,
Gas money.
yeah.
No, definitely. Yeah,
Gas
for sure.
card. We'll give
Well-
you a Costco gas card.
And
send
you
you on your
hopefully
way.
can make it there if you have a Prius. Otherwise, you're in trouble. No, and then that game is 1 week away from the start of the season, which is February 21st in Miami. And
Yeah,
another player just got hurt, so looks like Miami's down Kravosky for that game. He's likely to be out for that game as well.
That's okay. They have Suarez now too, so
Yeah, you got
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's,
depth,
they're not struggling.
I think they'll be okay, but it would be cool if we could go down there. Did you see the release from Real where they were like, hey, if you're going to the 21st game, contact us. We're going to try to get a block of tickets.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, if you're interested in that, hit up the RSL front office.
Yeah, $1,000 plane ticket and
Yeah.
then just a normal $200 ticket. You're set.
Yeah, and you know, $1,500 later. You're...
Yeah, we'll forget room and board.
Well, yeah,
You know.
but you get to see Messi
Absolutely.
and Suarez and Alba and Busquets
Honestly, that's
and
actually a
Real
good
Salt
deal.
Lake. I mean, you know,
It's a good
like
deal.
it's one of those things that you're probably not going to do again.
Yeah, true.
It might not all work out this way next year.
Yeah. So, any other rumors? I know there's one that's still
Oh.
kind of percolating.
There were left back rumors, defensive mid rumors.
I read today from a source that that's a done deal.
Which one? Left back?
Yeah, left back. I think I got some
Yeah.
in there.
To see, not
Alexandros
Katranos?
Katranis,
Tranis,
Oh, I think I read
the
about
Greek international.
it. Yeah.
30
Yeah.
years old,
Okay.
and I saw one of a journalist from Greece on Twitter. Apologize, I didn't write it down, but he said it's a done deal.
Do you speak Greek?
No.
Do you
See,
read
that
Greek?
that's an interesting one because
You
I
just
mean
take Google Translate, bud?
No, it was in English.
Wow.
that's an interesting one because we're a dynamic of generally Colombia, all that, and that Hispanic side of Spanish, English, and now we're just throwing in some Euro. It's interesting.
It is. It maybe that's his style though. Maybe his style
He's-
matches that.
He's pretty good. I mean, he has a foot. He's a natural lefty, which is really nice. And,
Which we like.
and he's physical too.
Ooh.
So
love
he
that.
is actually a good signing.
That would be really good because I know that
But it hasn't been announced yet.
not officially,
still over a
but he said it was a done deal.
He said he was agreeing to personal terms.
But he's 30. I thought he was like
And
in his 20s.
RSL was paying $300,000 for him.
That's it.
That's not
For-
a bad deal on a transfer.
Wow.
Team. Probably find it.
That's his salary, or that's what we paid to transfer? Somewhere in that range.
Yeah, we'll find it. But also the other one is this Joshua Windass?
Oh, the guy
Witness?
from England.
Sheffield Wednesday.
The Brit.
He is a Brit. And
He's the guy that just turned 30, right?
yeah, how old? Oh, I guess Katrinas is like
Yeah, he's
25.
20 something.
Yeah, he's younger. That's what
Yeah,
I
it's
was like.
25. Okay, yeah, I had it
Born
mixed
in
up.
98, yeah. So 24 plus 1.
And so Joshua here is, go back, go forward.
Joshua
Fat
is
fingers.
Sorry.
a
hold
guy
on.
that played in England for a British team.
Sheffield.
Harrogate Railway Athletic,
Wigan.
2012. Accrington Stanley played for the Rangers over in
Scotland.
The Stanleys.
Wigan Athletic for 2 years, and now he's on loan out at Sheffield Wednesday. 9 appearances for Sheffield Wednesday in 2020 and 3 goals. Or actually,
Not to be confused with Sheffield United, who is in the Premier League where Austin Trusty plays. Who's an American who used to play for Colorado and used to actually be pretty good. He ended up there and
Really?
he's played a ton of Premier League minutes this year. Anyway, but not that team. That's Sheffield United that's going to get dropped from the Premier League with him. This is Sheffield Wednesday, the other team in Sheffield that used to be the better team in Sheffield.
But they don't play on Saturdays.
Yeah.
They're
only
the
play on
midweek
Wednesdays.
team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the midweek team.
Yeah.
Yeah, United's on the weekend.
Absolutely. That's when everybody can go.
but they say his playing style, another physical player,
Yeah.
attacking midfielder, who can also play forward.
Ooh,
Oh, we
that's
can.
what we need. A guy that
So,
can
we
play
can
some
move.
forward.
Move forward, move backward. That's good.
So that could be an interesting move and adjustment because we've seen as some of the other players that have come in, like let's say a Johnny Menendez type.
Oh, I like Johnny Menendez. The problem with Johnny Menendez, though, is he doesn't like the physical game. So these guys are more physical, huh? That's what Pablo likes.
I've never actually looked at Twitter before.
Never looked at Twitter?
It's X now. It's not even Twitter anymore.
What was his first name again? I was gonna copy it, but you threw it down.
Alexandros and
Alexandra Petranis.
Patronus? Is that what you just said?
Expelliarmus! Huh.
We also like his recent agreement with this.
Look at that.
So they agreed to terms with the club, and now they're in
Talks with the players.
negotiations with the players.
Well, this
Sounds
is
like 2-year deal with club option.
Yeah,
Ooh.
9 hours ago from the North Insiders. There's been some other ones too.
Yeah.
I think this is the one I was looking at. Ilias Kalonis.
He has a blue check by his name. Do you know what that means?
He's verified.
300,000 euros to Piast Gluis for Alexander Catranis. So I do like that pickup. I like picking up a left back. I would love to see them pick up a right back, a similar right back, somebody with a little bit more
Why would you say
experience.
that? We have Andrew Brody.
Because we have Andrew Brody.
Oh.
Not
I love
that-
how during the season we were so, like, you guys were so sensitive. Like, don't talk trash on him, don't do that. And then now, all of a sudden, when we're talking about picking up new people, we're like, yeah, we need to replace that guy.
Well, I think what happened is Brody stopped being as dynamic of a player going forward.
Well, we changed our identity, and he's not fitting in.
Yeah, and I think his style doesn't quite fit it. And so people are like, bring back Herrera. But the reason Herrera got shipped out was because he didn't fit Pablo's style, mentality-wise.
Yeah.
Which is a huge deal for him. And if you watch the Jason Kreis recent broadcast, he talked about wanting people that have, like, did you see that when he was talking about Sava leaving? He was like, oh my gosh, the most important thing to me is camaraderie and togetherness as a group. And then he's like, he said some stuff about Zava, then he said that, and then he was like, now, on to somebody who does do that, and then he started talking about other people. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think it was, some people took that a little differently. I remember thinking, because Jason said that he doesn't want bad actors on the team.
Yeah.
And I think some people were assuming he was talking about Savarino as a bad actor,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's what he really meant.
No,
It was
we
just
meant
the
his
fact
wife. His wife. That-
No, it was
I
just,
mean,
you
fair
know,
point.
you have
Fair
I mean,
point.
everybody has that friend who's their wife's the problem. Like, you know, like you're friends
you're
with them.
so cool,
but
except for when we go to your house.
except when your wife's anywhere near you.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, he's not hanging out with us.
He's not coming over tonight.
Cheryl made biscuits.
because you know what sports podcasts need more of? Misogyny.
Misogyny, yeah.
Well, it happens the other way too. I mean,
I
I'm
know,
sure
I know,
it's
I'm
the
just
ladies work the other way, you know. But
There are people that just rub you the wrong way, and I think that's where Sava fit
Yeah.
with the rest of the team last year. He just didn't fit in, and all of the other stuff that was off the field, which was probably serious, it just kind of adds up
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
time. You want people that are committed to the team, and I think you give some players. Imagine it felt like you gave him an inch, and he took 4 miles
4 miles. Wow.
last year.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a lot of miles to take.
And because no one had fewer air miles than him last year. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's
I mean,
right.
if you're having scheduled time off,
Right.
Scheduled time off. That's weird.
Yeah.
And then to also like his Instagram stuff where he
Yeah.
was like, "What do you mean?" or whatever, like that whole
Yeah.
thing, like.
And then he took down like Real Salt Lake highlights of himself.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's a little petty, and it's a little like, okay, so
Childish.
it's not working. We need to find something else. You can go to Brazil. Go to Brazil. Enjoy your time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we wish him the best though. He's a great player.
yeah, it's too bad. Too
And
bad
our
it didn't work
leading
out this
scorer.
time.
That doesn't matter.
Kind of does.
Not really. I mean,
Just for consistency. For consistency, it matters.
right, but was he consistent for us?
Well, and did Chicho do a much better job? And will he be our leading
Yeah,
scorer next year?
Yeah, he had this much time to work with, had
Right.
almost the same amount of goals, but was consistent every single game. Where
Yeah.
Sava was like a roller coaster, and then at the end, he had a couple great goals, but then it also died off at the end.
Yeah. And it was weird how his goals, like, only 2 or 3 times did he have game winners. But he,
Or change of the game.
yeah. Interesting.
Kind of like a Michael Chang. You know what I mean? His goal contribution wasn't really game changing.
Yeah, except in the Open Cup. Then he was like an all-star.
Oh yeah, those 2 goals came out of nowhere, dude. Like what the heck, man?
Well, one thing about Michael, we'll do our
Due diligence.
Predictions.
we'll do our prediction. Not today. We're
Not
just
today.
we're just kind of
No.
We're just spitballing.
spitballing and
You
trying
know?
to get a feel, get back into
3
it.
old dudes just chatting.
Yeah, we're just randomly bringing up.
Misogynistically chatting me.
But I have so, yeah. All your wives are nice.
Yes, everyone who listens to this
We weren't.
podcast, tell your wives you love them.
We weren't. It's like that. If you see, since we're being idiots, and I put that one guy that said that great clip on Instagram or something where the guy says, "Go out and tell your wife or something that the women are beautiful on the internet or something." Like he meant to say, "Go tell your wife they're beautiful." So okay, yeah, honey, I'm supposed to
On the internet?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm supposed
what?
to tell you that
You put that in the wrong
women
spot
are
there,
pretty on
buddy.
the internet or something. It just didn't work out. Just like that. Me trying to explain it did not work out.
Well, and
But
just like
that's because
Moose
you were
didn't work out,
mansplaining
right?
it.
I
And
was,
stuff.
yeah, sorry, my massage.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
Well, just like Moose didn't work out, but did you see he's gonna sign with Seattle?
Yeah, that's the rumor.
Man,
Yeah.
they are just taking all of our stuff.
But
What is up with that?
it's almost like now they have all our leftover stuff, all the stuff we didn't really need, right?
Well, I think if he scores that penalty kick, we have a different way of talking about
I
Moose.
agreed.
Which is
Wholeheartedly.
terrible that
I
it's
know.
one situation.
One kick of the ball,
and
he
Diego
pinged it
Luna
off
did the
post.
exact same thing.
Right.
So it's like, what's the difference?
No, I mean, in the end, it was a big difference, but
The build up to
The build-up.
that moment.
yeah,
For one, Diego Luna was coming around and
Mhm.
really starting to be the player everybody believes he can be, and Moose was coming back from sabbatical,
Sabbatical, yeah.
where he was off doing his own thing.
right. But he only took 2 games off for sabbatical. Sama took, I think, 6.
Yeah, what a crazy
So-
season it was, in some ways. But thinking about players, I imagine we'll talk about Seattle. I was going to say, maybe next thing we're going to hear is Elliott Fall. He's in
Right.
Seattle.
Well,
But,
he might end up in Kansas City.
Oh, that would be a
was the
great
rumor
one.
swirling around because Kansas City hired the old Portland guy, the guy who was there and defended,
Talking about misogyny.
talking about misogyny. Yeah, he protected the player who beat up his wife or girlfriend.
And there were some other things
What was
going
that?
Eddie
on.
Polo, if you look that up, Polos
Oh, really?
controversy, and they tried to sweep it onto the rug, and she was here as a, she didn't speak English well, and they were like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of you. Just don't mess with Andy's career and stuff." And it ended up backfiring on him because she was like, "Wait, you're not taking care of me now," and they were promising to take care of her, and then anyway, it was a whole big deal, and all the GMs up there got fired, and even the Thorns coach, I think, but that was for a different thing. He was kind of dating one of the players. So there's a whole
There was a
slew of
mess
stuff
up there.
like that going on.
Wow.
And so they kind of just cleaned house with those people that were involved in that. And then Kansas City came and hired that guy to be their GM, and their fans rioted at their stadium.
Yeah, like
It's in protest, and so they introduced him, and 2 days later they fired him.
wow.
So
But I think Elliott Fall would be a great pickup for any team.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
not right off as a general manager. I think, although he's proven himself to have some skills.
Yeah.
With what he did, carrying RSL through some pretty tough times.
What's the
but
role and responsibility of a general manager?
Depends on the
To
team.
manage generally.
That's what I figured.
It's just like, what's Jason Christ's title? A guy that works for Real Salt Lake.
He's here to
Special
hang out.
assignments.
Special
Projects.
Special what? No one has that job title. You're assigned to all the stuff we don't really want to do.
Yeah.
How's that?
I
got all
think
that.
Jason wants to move. In interviews I've listened to, he wants to move away from coaching. He doesn't want to coach
Into
anymore.
front office.
And I think this is an opportunity for them to train somebody up who loves the club, loves being here, wants to be here, and might have the skills and abilities that they could develop to become a pretty good general manager. So, well, we'll see how that goes. But it's nice to see them bringing in more people. Going back to, the whole change over the end of the season, I'm still trying to figure out, and it's all probably stuff that we, don't need to know.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious to see how and why it all went down with Pablo still being around, Elliot Fall gone, Pablo's coaches
All gone.
hitting the bricks.
Yeah, he said he said I didn't. That was not my decision.
And I wonder
Pablo said that?
Yeah, Pablo said that.
and I wonder if that's true.
He's like, remember, that wasn't my choice, or my decision, or something like that. I didn't do that voluntarily, something like that. So it was like more like, okay, ownership came to him and said, hey, look, Pablo, we can take you all out, or we can keep you and let your assistants go.
Which I was thinking about that today. It's like, isn't that kind of antithetical to who Pablo?
And to
Well, he's like, yeah, I was going
The
to say.
opposite of what people
I caught the anti
perceive.
part of antithetical. It's
It was
the
antithetical that
part.
we're a little tied
The
up
opposite of who we perceive Pablo to be. This team guy, this universe guy. You would think that
This universe guy.
the universe would
Cosmic.
tell him, yeah. You would think that
He would be so positive and motivating that he would be like, no, what we have can work. We can make this work.
No, I was thinking more along the lines of, these are my guys, you're letting them go, I'm going with them. You can't let my guys go and then keep me.
Yeah,
So I think what
don't know.
you said, who
Maybe.
knows, it's probably very benign, but, we live in an age of tons of conspiracy theories, especially if you spend any time on social media. Somehow the world became flat again, which is kind of crazy. Those are...
Yeah, Taylor Swift is running the
NFL.
world now. Yeah.
No, she's running the NFL.
Well
She runs
deserved,
the
though.
NFL.
It's
I mean,
well deserved.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but,
if you think
I
about
mean, she shows up, and
she's an
football
inspiration.
is about Taylor Swift now, which is fun.
She's very pretty, but not pretty. Have you ever thought
Isn't
about
that
Like
strange?
every time I look at her, I'm like, oh, she's hot.
She's a
And
lovely
then,
person.
But then
Listen-
sometimes I'm like, her eyes are weird and her face is really big. But then at the same time, it's still like, yeah, I still want to be with her,
She's
And did you know? Let's get on this test whistle thing. Did you know she has one of the worst emission footprint in the world because she flies so much privately. Like her emissions is just out of the out of the park.
Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all those guys have. big
No.
carbon
She
footprints.
is in the
She's
in
up
the
there
lead.
with them now.
Yeah.
Well, imagine with, her concert.
Well, her
Once
concert,
her
she
tour
got to
is
go to her
done,
boyfriend.
Then she'll go back to being
Yeah.
more
Yeah. She'll get better.
eco-friendly after that.
Yeah.
Eco,
But-
not echo.
Eco-friendly. Fine.
Eco-friendly.
Fine.
Maybe she
Whatever you
wants
want
to
to
watch
say.
Echo.
But she probably is the most attractive billionaire, so she does have that going.
Bleed.
I mean,
By a ways, probably.
probably.
I mean, if it's her and Oprah,
God,
I mean.
we should. She's
Yeah,
a
we're
lovely,
gonna-
lovely human being.
She
Jeez.
swizzle all day.
I don't know.
I don't know how we got so far off. I was just
It
It was
Yeah,
just
I
a
think
fun
we're jerks.
topic.
We're just
It was a
being-
fun topic.
Kansas City, right?
We're just
Kansas
being
City.
silly.
Did you see how the conversation rose though the moment we started talking about her?
Yeah, she.
It's nice. Let's
Hey,
segue into
everybody's
this.
talking about her, so why shouldn't we, right?
I think.
Do you think Gavin Beavers would have a chance with Taylor Swift?
Well, she
No,
started
okay.
skating soccer players.
I have-
She's not young.
I
mean,
have a
she's-
fun one.
She's not young, and neither is Kelsey. He's a little older. But he's kind of not really the guys that she normally dates, right?
He's a
she's-
cool dude.
Yeah, he's like a cool bro. Like, he's kind
She had,
of
to get through all the trash
Yeah,
to find
she
something
dated,
that's
like,
actually
weird-
cool.
Well, we know she's into podcasters,
Yeah.
What?
right?
Is that who she was hugging in the post-game press
Well,
conference? or
It's
whatever?
Travis Kelce has a podcast with his brother Jason Kelce.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's a really good one. You should watch it because they talk about insights in football, American football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's the one that pulled his shirt off at the.
That's.
That's his brother.
Yeah.
He also plays in the NFL too, right?
You know, he just retired.
Oh,
He was
out?
he was a
Eagles.
snapper
Center.
for the Eagles.
The
Yeah.
center for the Philadelphia Eagles, who lost in the playoffs, and then after the game, he said he was retiring.
Oh yeah, that was tough for him.
What a tough way to go. Poor guy.
So anyway, where were we?
We were
Elliot Fall,
on.
I would love to see Elliot Fall get a job and be incredibly successful.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he was. I can't see somebody giving him a general manager job right off the bat. But if you are a team that has an opening, maybe assistant general manager,
Yeah.
something along those
Assistant
lines.
to the regional manager.
Assistant to the general manager. That's a guy I would jump on because
Yeah.
of all his experience. He's a young guy. He hasn't been involved in the front office since he was an intern at 15 or something.
Yeah.
Running and getting coffee.
Well,
after
the
high
only
school.
thing a lot of people would be weary about is the fact that how fast he moved up, and then to see him have some success, but then also there wasn't that much success, and there was a little bit of issues with the front office and all that stuff. So I think they would definitely not hire him as a general manager, or he would find something in a different
Close
league.
to that.
Like I could see him, moving to Canada or.
I think
anywhere.
The USFL.
Well, I would think that an MLS team that has an opening somewhere in their front office.
You think he would,
I think he'd be really
he'd
valuable.
be a shoo-in?
I think it'd be really valuable. I think
Seattle probably.
Seattle or Portland, that's where most
I feel like there's a
like,
spy.
I don't know.
There's
I
gotta be
got
a
thinking
spy.
about
Who's
it.
spying out of there?
Yeah.
Moose
They just
ends
admire
up-
us?
If
or
Moose
what?
Moose
ends
is
up
there?
in Seattle, I don't think Elliot Fall's
The
gonna-
guy you always talk about, Garth Lagerway, is that his name?
Yeah,
He
Garth's
is in
not there
Atlanta.
anymore, though.
He's not there. Well, he was. So
Yeah, he moved to Atlanta.
there's got to be a mole.
He moved on from Atlanta. Is now the president of Atlanta.
Gonna be a mole.
Team
What
of-
is this, CTU?
Well, we were talking.
Jack Bauer?
You're like, hey,
We were talking about
There's a
conspiracy
mole!
theories.
There's a hot tip, and he's leaving. We should get him.
So we were talking about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And back to, I was really curious. I was thinking about it. I wonder how it all went down. It seems like it was probably a little more cutthroat
Where? What?
in the changes in the RSL front
Oh, I
office.
thought we were talking about fish.
Oh yeah. I was not on the same page. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can see that. I think as an owner, I think they're doing things in the right way, and
Yeah.
it's really nice because I was expecting Utah Jazz type of things, and I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, Danny Ainge does not work for RSL.
Yeah, and it's
Isn't that nice?
quite nice. Like it's almost like you broke up with somebody and you're like immature, and then all of a sudden you meet somebody that's mature and you become an adult, and it's like the owners of it was like, hey, I'm an adult, RSL. Now let's have a more mature relationship, and now we're becoming a bigger club overall.
And I think that in large part is going back to Kimball, right? John Kimball. He's been the president before. New ownership brought him back. And I think that steady hand of him is what kind of keeps everything heading in the right direction. I think he gets way less credit than he probably is due, because by all accounts he's a very humble guy. He doesn't seek credit. He seeks for things to go well.
Mm.
He seeks for his business to thrive. So, for me, that's great. That's kind of what we want out of a president. Want to step aside and let the other guys get the glory, which is great for him because he's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
So, that consistency, I think, goes a long way.
And I was just curious because
We love
feels
it when
like
you're curious, but
yeah, I'm very curious.
we love it.
What are you curious about?
Well, I was curious to know, does it feel that the question I would ask you guys, was what happened in the front office still a half step?
Yes.
Would have been better just to rip the Band-Aid off and say, you know what, Pablo, your coaches aren't cutting it, but you are. Why
Well-
not just clean sweep? We got rid of the general manager.
Well, if you think about it, Pablo's had 2 years to build a bond with the people that are on the field, that matter, right? So if you were to rip that Band-Aid off, you're going to leave a significant hole to then have to rebond with somebody that they're supposed to follow and reset this entire program. Whereas if you're taking rid of all the assistants, you're taking the front office and changing that up, you're essentially holding on to the anchor of what is happening on the field, and then they build that up, and then if that anchor doesn't work with the brand new front office and all that, then it's an easier, hey, this isn't working out. Now we only need one piece to move around instead of the whole thing.
I agree. We're like 2 or 3 pieces away if we keep building from here.
Yeah.
And if we start from scratch, maybe Chicho doesn't stick around.
Oh.
He's like, I'm out, bro. I came here for Pablo. you know, this I speak English, I speak Spanish thing is going great. Got a lot of Hispanic players that like to kick me the ball. I get to be the guy that scores the goals. I'm kind of the man on this team, right? Like, there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of money invested in those guys.
Yeah.
And for them to be happy, I think you have to have some consistency.
Well, like you change the coach, you change the culture, and I
Yeah.
think that's a huge thing that they have a culture going on right now that honestly should not change yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons they brought in the new coaches, right? They're going to implement a new style of play.
No, I think
They
they're
are,
going to
maybe a little
enforce what the head coach really wants.
Well, they brought in, according to Pablo, and listen to some interviews, they brought in these other guys to help with the transition to a little bit different style of play. Finally. So Pablo, they didn't believe Pablo could do that, so they brought in coaches to do it.
That are more tactical.
They're more tactical minded. So Pablo is kind of like the
Svengali.
rah-rah. You know, he's good with the motivational stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought, why not just bring in a tactical head coach?
Well,
That rah-rah was able to help us win some games that we were not supposed to win. And it was also enabling us to not completely fall apart towards the end of the season.
And I'm not saying that that's what they should have done. I'm just curious to see if eventually we're just going to end up finishing the process and get a new head coach. We'll see how it goes this year. Does Pablo I think I asked this before, is the slate been wiped clean for Pablo?
No.
Or is the pressure ratchet up for Pablo because he has to, RSL needs to be successful for him to continue on? Is it?
I think as an owner, if I put myself in an owner's position right now, I think financially I'm protecting my investments by not doing a clean sweep. If I have somebody in there that I feel can motivate and bond the team, I'm going to keep him in there and I'm going to fill around him. So that way, if this person doesn't work out, I'm not forking out money of another coach coming in that's also might not work out. And then I'm having to spend more money down the road. Whereas right now I'm consolidating all of my interests and making it very affordable and on a track that could work. And if it doesn't work, I'm only changing one or two pieces instead of going back to the drawing board 2 to 3 times. You know what I mean?
yeah. Plus, is now Olave the coach in waiting?
He bumped up.
That's what I'm saying.
No. I think it's
because remember when Pablo was the coach in waiting and Petke was the coach in waiting, and
Oh, that's a
remember all
different.
that?
But that's a
are we still doing that? Are
No.
we still doing that? Hopefully
if anybody,
not.
I think it's that. Is it Poulos?
Poulos? Do you think he's
the guy from Miami?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Jason
Miami
Christ
FC?
seemed to think that it's Homison.
I would
Which-
be surprised if it was Hobson. I would, if
what a
if
great guy,
Pablo
though.
Yeah.
if Pablo doesn't work out, I would love to see us break this cycle.
Jurgen. We can get Jurgen.
Yeah, he's leaving Liverpool. We should start rumor.
Jurgen Klopp?
Jurgen
Or Jurgen
is coming
Klinsmann?
to Salt Lake
Plop.
at the end of the
Did
season.
you hear about that?
That's-
He's leaving, right? You know
Yeah, he's
that?
leaving
Oh
Liverpool.
yeah, at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And
So he's just putting all the pressure on him to make a title run. Which, dude, when they played Arsenal last, I was like, that team is dang good. That Liverpool team is really good.
Xavi is leaving too. Xavi's leaving Barcelona at the end of
Yeah,
the
well,
season.
Barca has problems. They have
Yeah,
big
Xavi's probably
problems.
going to go to Miami and he's going to play
His,
again.
His,
Who
check,
knows?
his checks bounced, right?
Yeah. Once your check bounces, you lose a lot of loyalty real quick, bro.
What's that dude on Barcelona that my team, what's his bucket? Blonde guy?
Dion?
Yeah, Dion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's like, I don't need to be paid. I just want to play for Barcelona.
I know.
Like, that's what your
Think
star
about it,
players
dude.
saying?
You're an
Like,
idiot.
come on,
dude.
man.
Don't say that, dude.
So
All the other guys are like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, seriously.
here's a question for you guys.
Oh.
Looking at the roster, one player that you hope,
Would date Taylor Swift.
I think,
You gotta go for oldness. She doesn't
No,
want
one
a
player-
young kid
She's
anymore.
only like 33.
That's what I'm saying. So like, no one's even close to her age except Scylla.
who's that?
Michael Chang.
Oh yeah, Chain maybe.
She'd have to go out with the goalie. They're old.
Yeah.
That's true.
There you go.
But my question is, one player on
McMahon's
here,
happily married.
a player on here that you expect to shine during preseason.
Oh, preseason? Gotta be, I think Gozo, or no, actually, Bonilla. I think Bonilla is gonna be one of those draft picks that's gonna really come out swinging real quick, and then somehow get lost into the shuffle of the starting 11. Like he's
Well, that would be a good one because all of a sudden RSL is now stacked at left back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he steps in. No, I gotta go for one of the Utah kids. Let's go with Javier Gozo. I think he outplays Axel Kai
I think so too.
because people love him. Like every time they talk about the youth in the academy, they're always like, and this Gozo kid, he just keeps. Oh yeah, and Axel Kai too. And it's almost like Axel Kai is the afterthought now, but Gozo seems more ready when we talk to people.
He has more options. He has more capabilities.
Yeah, he makes runs off the ball. He has a softer touch.
More imagination.
Imagination, yeah.
He's creative.
But I think Kai's more exciting because he's big and he beats people off the ball one-on-one. So we'll see.
Who do you think?
That's what I'm thinking.
I was obviously it's probably gonna be a young guy that's gonna come out of nowhere, but I was curious. I know that there's a lot of hype for Fidel Barajas, and Pablo's already mentioned that, but I'm curious to see what Emeka Anelli does
Oh man, what a guy!
because
First year pro, last
sophomore slump. Is he gonna come
Yeah.
in and he does? I don't know what position they're gonna. I think they're moving him into the midfield, somewhere in
Really?
there. That's what I've heard. So I'm curious to see how he does. If it's a sophomore slump, or if he's going to come in.
He's going to play right back there.
Are we saying Emeka Anelli didn't do well this season?
No, I think he did, but he played all over. I'm just curious to see if he's going to nail down a position.
Oh, instead of being all over the place like a Jasper kind of
Yeah,
deal.
I think he gets. If I had to pick right now, he would be my starting right back. He would be the
I
starter.
agree
and Brody would be
100%.
the next man up.
I totally forgot his capability, especially being a true fullback in a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would put him there. 100%.
And he needs to work on his crossing if we are going to keep playing that same style.
Well, he's got.
But
if
he
he's put
combines
there.
well. He combines well. So
Yeah, and
let
he's
him get
also-
forward and combine and do that little thing he does. And
Well, also on the defensive end, he like against Houston, he did so well.
Yeah,
Where
and
Brody
tough.
Brody really struggled. He doesn't let anybody body him. He's so low centered and got a really great balance to him. I think he's a solid right back. If we do put him at right back, we need to make it so it's like, hey, you are right back, so that way he can focus on the techniques
and maybe restructure his contract to treat him like a starting style player because he's
well, especially with his
he's still on
age
his
too.
rookie contract from
He's
college.
25, and all these other guys are 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, so I think if we can give him a real contract, that'd be cool, and then get him.
And
Starter
so, who do you
right back.
think? So to counter that, who do you think is going to do the worst?
Oh, that is a good question. Who do you think might struggle? For me, I will. There's one player that I think that really surprised me last season, and that was Michael Chang. I like the player he became, but I don't think he's going to struggle. I think he's found himself, and he's a quality player. He's not going to be a starter.
Known commodity.
He's going to be someone that adds value to the team wherever they put him and whenever they put him. But who's going to struggle?
We're talking preseason or full season?
Preseason. Who maybe it's a player that we expected to do really well and struggles. That's tough. That's not something you think about all the time. But I'm curious to see if Gavin Beavers, if he's going to be able to. I still think Zach McMath is going to come out of preseason as the starter. And I think there's a lot of expectation that Gavin might be able to
Take his spot.
but I think Zach McMath needs to be our starter.
Well, he played really well down the stretch, but there were some times where he just
McMathed it up again.
Yeah, but so did Beavers. But when a veteran like McMath that's been around a long time and been consistent goes up against a kid, because Beavers is 18. I think what happens is you want to give the kid the chance because you think he has a higher upside, right? That's what most people do. If it's even, and one guy's 32 and one guy's 18, you go with the 18-year-old because he might be better, longer, and have bigger upside. But goalkeeper's a different animal, and goalkeepers all mature at different times, and it's very rare that someone can step in and play big minutes at a big club at keeper, not make mistakes, play out of the back with their feet. Today's modern keeper is a lot different than when Tim
Well-
Howard went to the EPL.
Also, McMath isn't somebody that really gets elevated. He doesn't he's not
He's
up in the
steady,
air.
yeah.
He's not. And Gavin, Beavers has the ability to be one of those star goalies where he's making incredible saves, and he's doing things, but he's also allowing simple things to get past him. Where McMath is kind of shrinking that variable a little bit more.
And I think Gavin is a player they want to see succeed so they can sell him.
Yeah.
Because they want to get him noticed by the teams in Europe.
Okay, you're
so they
throwing a
can
weird
sell
word,
him.
and then you
Skits
skits him?
Yeah, he
Sorry.
skits him.
Oh, that was
Skits
just
and
a
numbers.
fumble on words.
Yeah, that
Oh.
was just a struggle.
So what was the other word?
Skits.
Etheritatical? What was the other word you said?
Antithetical.
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 Antimicrobial. I get it.
Which it makes me laugh because remember when we were selling David Ochoa and we got $48,000 from to sell
DC
him on
United,
to DC,
whatever.
and I was like, dude, we got a great deal, and everybody was like, you're an idiot, and I'm like, no, this is a steal.
This
This
guy
guy
is
sucks, and we got money for him.
Yeah, we stole lunch money from DC United.
Yeah, we pretty much did.
What
And
about-
did you hear he's coming back? He has a tryout with LA.
LAFC, I think.
Was it FC or Galaxy? I can't remember.
One of the two, yeah.
It's got to be Galaxy.
I think-
There's
no,
no
I think-
way.
I
LAFC
think
just
it's
signed that
LAFC.
new goalie.
Yeah, from Lloris.
Yeah, Lloris, yeah. So there's no way he's coming on
From
there.
Tottenham, so he's not. Yeah, he's probably not going.
Well, Hugo Lloris is why he's kind of
What?
He's very French.
You know, that's what they said about that dude who played for, what's that small club?
Tottenham.
Oh, Wrexham. Do you remember that
Tottenham.
that goalie? That small guy?
That little guy.
Yeah, they said he was done, but he came back and saved the season for him. So
in the National League, which is a little bit different than MLS.
Yeah, but you know what? One time I was listening to the Premier League broadcast, and they were like, you know what? Tottenham is never going to win a title with Lloris as their goalie. And I was like, dude, that's harsh. Especially because then the World Cup happened and France won it. And I was like, you're kind of an idiot. Because if he can win it with France, he can win the Premier League.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
it's Tottenham, though. That's the only issue.
Well, you guys gonna
Tottenham's always had that French connection, right?
you guys gonna stick your neck out and carp on a player that you don't think is gonna be successful in the preseason?
I already did. I said Brody because I picked Anelli to win his spot.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, I feel like Bodie is not going to have a good season.
I mean, he did step up and he got a couple assists and
I'm just curious. So the only thing that makes that hard is what is the dynamic of the team on the field going to be now that he has different tacticians orchestrating the game.
where is Vera going to play? Is he going to play
he's
left
center.
back
Oh,
or is
no.
he going to play center back?
I think he's
Because that
solid-
changes what happens with Bodie
He's
too.
left center. I think he's solidified his position right next to Glad, and also I think Emeka going to be the right back. I think Brody is going to be our substitute, and I think that's a great idea because when people go on international breaks and all that, he's a great replacement.
Yeah.
But I think as a back line, we need to be stout and we need to be solid, and I think Vera was way too good in his position over and over, excluding like a red card and a yellow. But other than
Which
that,
we kind of like to see every now and then. Right?
Yeah.
I like to see the passion over.
and going over how much he's getting paid, he is worth way more than what we bought him for.
Yeah.
And he pairs super well with Glad, and I think Silva can, but he doesn't have the reps that Vera got, so it's hard to throw Silva back in and expect the same 2 seasons ago Silva.
Yeah.
And we did just sign supposedly the Greece guy, Katrinas.
Yeah, left
Alexandro,
back.
He's a left
and
back.
Bonilla that they drafted. They were incredibly high on. So I think left back.
But we didn't sign a center back. So are we assuming Holt's our third center back?
Fourth.
Fourth center back?
So yeah, I think it's going to be Glad, Vera, Silva, Holt.
But
Okay.
I would love to see us sign a center back. There was a rumor that popped up, but it was quickly squashed. And
Yeah.
it was the Yuki Kobayashi.
Kobayashi Maru?
I know.
What is that from? Why do I know that?
Star
Trek.
Trek.
Oh, man.
It's the test Kirk takes. You know. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes better because they did
Yeah.
a new Star Trek, not the old one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the old Star
It's the
Trek
unwinnable scenario.
where you're
Yeah,
supposed
and
to
Spock
lose.
makes it.
No, Kirk cheats.
Kirk
Well, no,
cheats.
Spock makes the test. of the
Yeah,
Kobayashi.
Spock makes the test, and then maybe in the new
Cheats.
ones, but I don't know if Spock made it in the original stars.
Well, the old ones suck, so it's all good.
Oh no. So
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been great just for that because you can't beat him. The only way you beat him is if you cheat. But that's not happening.
And then Kevin Lambert, that pushes him up to the midfield, not center back. Which,
well, you never know.
I mean, Bodie was starting in front of him as center back when we were down to no center backs. You know?
That's true. But we have new coaches, new formation.
New philosophy.
And I think that's a good thing because I feel like a lot of people that weren't starting should have been. And I think that's why Diego Luna took so long to come up and become a starter throughout the year. When everybody was like, this guy's amazing. He goes the US whatever national team, does amazing. And it's like, why aren't we introducing that into the squad sooner?
And I think that goes back to Pablo.
You think it's Pablo, or do you think it was the assistant coach?
No, I think it's
could have been
absolutely Pablo. Pablo, if you're gonna ask me, I think it's Pablo in the universe and the
Well,
things.
we
all the
don't
things
we
that
don't go to the practices though.
Come on, the universe.
Well, Pablo, it seems like it's so random. We brought
That
in
seems
other
like
players,
perfect
and
for
with
us.
Pablo as the coach, they have to jump through hoops, and I don't know what it is he has to see.
But Moose came right back into the starting lineup.
Which
after
was
he out,
crazy.
right?
You know, he probably goes to hot yoga with Pablo. That's probably what it is.
That was crazy that Moose came and started, and I think that was just a reflection on the friction that was between Elliot Fall and Pablo Ruiz. And I think the knives came out.
Pablo Mastroeni.
Okay. And I think the knives came out for whatever reason, and Elliot Fall
took the fall. He was the fall guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
But I can see that.
I'm excited.
Bringing up Pablo Ruiz,
Uh-huh.
what do you guys think about his capability this year? Coming off of an ACL, or no, it was a meniscus, right?
I think people are putting a lot of pressure on him.
Uh-huh.
A lot. Because he had that cool goal from midfield, and he does have that sweet left foot, but you also want to be careful. He's a little guy. Remember when him and...
Well, he was holding his own, and he was orchestrating.
Yeah, but when him and Loffelson were in the middle, we got ran through.
That's because we had Loffelson.
Well,
we don't have Loffelson anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But when we had two little guys in the middle, this big guy was saying, I'm tired of little guys in our midfield. Getting pushed
you guys
around
also
and
said
run
that Pablo
right by.
sucked, and then I said no, and then all of a sudden he had a couple
All right,
highlight
fine,
goals,
you win.
and you guys were
You
just
throw
like,
me in
"Oh,
with
I
him
just-
all the
I just
time.
want some
man.
consistency from the ball
All the
guys.
time.
That's all I want.
You throw me in with him. That wasn't my opinion. I never said that.
So I think there is a lot of pressure on Pablo. Maybe with the new formation style of play, it's going to be easier for him to be successful and not have to take so much on. And,
Well,
have a simpler role.
Because we did play so separate, and like it was like one, island play. It felt like you're just one man on an island passing it to another island.
And if you listen to some of the interviews, I think Pablo did a great one with Spence Check is talking about how they're going to play.
What's up, man?
Shout out to Spence Jack.
They're going to play more compact.
We've
And
met him. He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
more compact and having 4 or 5 players closer together
Oh yeah.
and
The way it's
controlling the
supposed to be
ball
played.
instead of what we saw.
Wait, are we
last
switching
year.
to total football?
Yeah, everybody
We might have
on
to
the
total
team
recall it first.
got
Total recall.
the free DVDs. from Ted
Secretary has
Lasso.
3 boobs. What's going on?
That's total recall. That's not total football. Total football, for those of you who are playing at home or kids watching.
I have not watched.
There are no kids. We have no demographic where a child wants to listen to us. 0.
Kids are listening in the backseat with their parents.
Oh
who are
yeah,
big sports fans.
well they got Mr. Beast on YouTube that they're watching while the dad is listening to this. Yeah, we are not relevant to children.
Anyway, so
Oh my
Thank
gosh,
you.
the one
What were we
kid,
talking
the one
about?
kid's
What
gonna
was
be
it?
like, oh yeah, I listen.
I listen. Tweet at Brennan. Anyway,
At
so
Brennan.
what were we saying?
I don't know. We interrupted him again.
Style of play.
It's nice
It's a new
for
style
you
of
in the
play.
middle though. Like you being in the middle is such a better dynamic. Yeah.
No, yeah.
The new style of play that's going to hopefully be a
Total
little more
you're
conducive
gonna-
for Pablo Ruiz to have an impact.
Yeah.
And not have to do more than he might have been doing a little bit too much.
I think
Taking
so.
a little bit too much last season, but maybe that's why I've heard they might be moving a McAnally in there and figure out those combinations that could be really beneficial. But we'll see. I mean, it's the preseason. It's like we're starting over. New system, new players, new front office, and I've been thinking a lot about it. We'll get to our predictions in upcoming episodes, but this season, I think if this season ends up, if we have 50 points at the end of this season, like we did at the end of last season,
I think we're taking first.
I think that's a good season.
I think if we take 50 points, that's going to be either first, second, or third because the West is such a strong conference compared to the East.
And West is weak. 50 points will be 5th or 6th or
Nah,
7th.
man,
The West is going to get better.
You
St.
can't say
Louis
that.
isn't going to have that kind of a
No,
season.
I think the West will be better, but my point is
I think Cincinnati's going to have
RSL,
a terrible time.
RSL is going to struggle. If you look at the schedule, the
Start
February
out
and
rough,
March,
yeah.
it is brutal, our schedule. And we'll get down and break down and talk about
the extremes of the country that we play in. But before we get too far off it, I kind of want to go back to the total football thing.
Yeah,
If
what
you
is
guys-
that?
So
What are you
total
talking
football, if you
It's how the
if you
Dutch
watched if you watched Ted Lasso, they go into kind of how that breaks down. But basically, it's that players on the field are players. It's like how a lot of people play indoor soccer.
about? Roles can be changed. Everybody.
There's 5 players on the field. Whoever's closest to run back runs back and plays defense, and
Yeah.
then you just kind of play roles, not necessarily.
Oh yeah, when he went
positions.
to the restaurant he was talking about.
Yeah,
He came
yeah,
up with
yeah.
it,
So Girona in the Spanish.
My Girona?
Yes.
Not your Girona. My
No,
Girona.
Your Girona. Girona is top in the league after 22 matches played. They're 1 point ahead of Real Madrid
Wow.
and Barcelona, and they're well above Barcelona. Barcelona's in 4th. Atletico Madrid's in 3rd. And we're talking about Spanish powerhouses. And Girona playing this total football style. They have
Your scarf's
players.
going down. There you go.
They have players that are just players. You know what I mean? The center back ends up at left back. The left back gets pushed up in and ends up playing an
Schnozberries
attacking
taste like
midfield.
schnozberries.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Girona is like, it's almost like they're canceling the Spanish style of play because of the way they're playing total football right now. It's just messing up all the other Spanish teams.
You like to see that. I mean, I think.
Yeah, some disruption, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a league like Spain, where there's 2 big powerhouses and a third.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm. And it's usually 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll get into our predictions for the upcoming season. We got a lot to ruminate on as think about.
What does that
As the,
even mean?
I need to get you a dictionary.
No, a
Totally
thesaurus, because I'm like,
thesaurus. Ruminate. Think about. Ruminate.
Innate.
ruminate.
Yeah, it's innate to room. That's what it means.
You know how you think
I
about
have to,
stuff.
like-
You ponder and let things
I
kind
don't
of
like the word ponder.
kind of roll around in your head.
See, this is why he's a writer, because he's way more eloquent. But that's why you're good on a podcast, is because you can speak to the common man. But
Yes. I have the face for radio.
Wow, that was such a backhanded compliment.
But I complimented you both.
So
You're really smart.
You're
And you're
well
not so
understood.
smart, but there's
No.
a lot of other people that are not so
You're
smart,
really
so you
well
relate.
understood. You're really well understood, and
So
you're very eloquent.
oh, thank you.
So there you go.
But I
And you're
do
big.
think that
You're a big guy, man.
I do think that this season is going to be interesting,
For the podcast or for
and
the
it would
team?
be nice. I was thinking about this as well for everybody.
Yeah, because now we're on
But-
TV.
I was
Boom.
I was hoping one of these days I would love to have a normal season.
What's
What
a
does that
normal
even mean?
season?
What?
What do you mean a
Come
normal
on.
season?
When was the last time we had like?
We beat the good teams and we lose to the bad teams.
Well, think about it. When we
Is that what
had
you mean?
no, like when
When
the,
we're
the
top
golden
3.
era,
2009?
2009 to 2013,
Okay.
when we had stability in the front office, we had stability in coaching, and we had like 7 players that played with each other for 5 seasons in a row.
Kyle, Javi, Savarino. Sorry, I said Savarino.
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 Andy Williams.
Winger.
Williams.
You had
Winger.
a
Nick
core.
Grabavoy.
And you know what we didn't
Grabavoy.
have? You know what we didn't have? Drama. We didn't have a ton of drama.
You know who
That
was
we
on
know
that team?
of, though.
Olave.
Oh, Olave
Oh,
was on
Olave.
there.
I mean, we
Matt
just had
Borchers, right?
now. Yeah, they're
Really good players that filled a specific role.
But,
instead of in the last few seasons, it has just been
less than consistent.
Well, who was the coach?
Jason Kress.
Okay. Who was the coach when we had all the issues?
Well, which one?
That's what I'm saying. There's all these terrible coaches.
So you would love to see us get
we're changing the carb, just not the steering wheel cover.
Well, here's another question. What happened to all those coaches? What are they doing now? Are they still coaching in MLS?
I think he's at home with his cat.
Petke? Where's he at?
Hecky.
Kassar? Where's he?
I don't even know what they look like. I stopped paying attention.
Freddie?
They're just not making waves. Like, they're not still coaching in MLS. They're not head coaches somewhere. Freddie's at Seattle still as an assistant coach. Like, he took a pay cut and a demotion to leave.
So yeah, I'm hoping that with these changes, we'll get to that point where we become like the New England Patriots or the Kansas City Chiefs, where everything is all lined up. You can't have it for very long in professional sports. It doesn't. The Patriots are, I think, an outlier, but for the most part, when you look at successful teams, dynasties, you got like a 5-year window.
Yeah, and that's
5,
the Chiefs, right?
10,
now, right?
yeah. The Chiefs are probably
Mahomes.
set up to go quite maybe not as long as the Patriots, but they're set up to have a consistent run. They've got the main players, and maybe the Chicho Arango finally having a player that can anchor the team. We can build in some stability, and maybe 3 years from now, you know,
3 years from now, we're up there just talking about the same stuff. We won again.
Yeah, how boring is that going to be? Maybe that's what we need.
We lost to Miami, and that was it. See, but that's the thing. You just want all the up. You don't want all the down.
No, I don't mind.
But in order to appreciate the up, you gotta appreciate the down. That's better. That's much better.
But
like
we
that
have,
better?
Yeah, backwards.
but we have been down for a decade.
We have. So that means our rise up.
Down though. I mean, down.
We've been kind of oh no.
See, that's like someone saying like, you know, I was so good in high school, and then now I'm just not as good. But it's like
I would rather see us have.
Who are you comparing yourself to, though?
We've had 10 years of mostly down, with a couple of good seasons thrown in, and one kind of fun run where we lost in Portland in with the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a consistent build, and build up to where maybe we end up in the Western Conference Finals 2 or 3 years in a row. We make it to the MLS Cup a couple years, maybe we win it, and then just kind of a natural up and down as opposed to just riding the bottom and hoping we make the playoffs.
No, that's Colorado, dude. That's not us.
We're not riding the bottom, man.
Colorado
I feel like you're a little pessimistic with our results. I feel like you if we're beating a team and we're on this thing, you're like, we shouldn't ever lose because we're playing so good.
No, I think that because we've been struggled for so long, that the expectations have lowered to where, we're gonna if we make the playoffs, then that's all we ever wanted, and then hopefully we'll be hot and go on a run. Instead of saying
we're actually like in it, we have the ability to win.
We should be expecting to have home court advantage, home field advantage for a couple of games. We should be considered a contender every year to do something and be a contender for the MLS Cup, and that comes with what we're seeing here with this stability in the front office and hopefully stability with the ownership and the players. I think we're heading in the right direction.
Well, I think Utah in general, in all areas, is growing to a point where we're becoming a city, we're becoming a state that like is substantial. You know what I mean? It's like LA's been LA forever, but it's kind of on the down. And now Miami's becoming this really hot ticket for a lot of teams, and things are naturally changing, and Utah is on the way up.
Yeah, and a big part of that's Ryan Smith. I don't want to, go off about how much I love that guy, but you know what? He's about experiences, right? And we've talked about that on this podcast before. He's a big fan of making sure that fans have a good experience in the stadium, online, whether it's at Jazz,
Thank you for dropping
Real Salt
KSL.
Lake.
No offense to KSL.
No, but thanks.
We love your classifieds, but we just...
Right. If you need to sell a car, it's
all
the way
the time.
to go. Yeah, you get
1983, the 1993 Ford Ranger.
I'm just trying to find a nice tent right now.
However,
Ryan
Ryan
Is
Smith.
it an instant one?
You got a big army one.
Oh yeah, the green one that's in the TP.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I have no idea what you're talking about. But Ryan,
Army
he's
so
he's
you
trying to
go
bring
out
in
into the wilderness.
trying to bring in the A's, trying to bring in hockey trying to make Salt Lake be more of a destination city.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Maybe we can finally get a stadium downtown, because the Delta Center is going to be no more. I'll be willing to put
Well, they
$5.
already said they're thinking about moving to South Jordan.
No, so the Bees are actually already going to be moving, so they are going to open up a large stadium for somebody.
The Oakland A's might play there for a couple of years.
Oh, really?
Before
Yeah,
they can move to Las Vegas, because they're moving to Las Vegas, so they might use that. They're trying to get them to use that, but
That's a
for
terrible
the
sport,
dream
man.
for
That's awful.
the dream for Ryan Smith, one of them is to have an NHL team.
Yeah.
And
he's trying
you
to
can't
bring
have an NHL team play in the Delta Center. It's not built for it. The lines aren't great. So when they build a new stadium, which they said, oh, we're committed to Salt Lake City, but he's going to build a stadium out at Point in the Mountain.
He'll build it wherever there's space to build it.
It'll be out at Point in the Mountain.
Probably.
I
That's
guarantee.
where there's space.
They will be out at
Where's
Point
the
in the Mountain,
Lehigh, like between Lehigh and Drake.
where the old prison was.
Where you go up and over the hill.
Oh.
There's all that space out there where the prison used to be.
Yeah, let's just call it Draper, because if you say Lehigh, it's like.
Oh,
So
it's north.
he will build a
Straight
new
up.
stadium that will be conducive for both hockey and basketball. Delta Center will be torn down and built into condos or something, but maybe we could
Just
end
like
up
everywhere
using
else
that
right now.
space and get a downtown soccer stadium like Uncle Dave Check has wanted to be in the beginning, which would
And
be
I still think
pretty
that's
amazing.
a long ways away because that stadium still has a lot of good use left in it.
I love the Riot.
It's a good stadium still.
But the atmosphere that they were hoping to have with apartments and condos and restaurants around the stadium just never developed because of the
But
economy and all of that.
did you
crap.
see
I didn't.
that they took out that grower place right there on the frontage road of I-15?
Oh, Wasatch.
Yeah, Wasatch Shadows or whatever that was. That's gone. And it's all flattened now. And there's a straight shot to the stadium. And I drove by today. They're putting up a big fat sign that says America First Field. Pretty cool. Big ol', I mean the letters are probably bigger than me.
Nice.
That is
So-
pretty good, but he wears size
Yeah.
13, so I mean the
Yeah.
the
So any
L,
They
thoughts?
kind of stick out at the
yeah,
bottom.
the L's not that large.
We steered away from misogyny. We've talked about Taylor Swift.
We steered back to the
these
side.
are the
back
these
to
are the hot
misogyny.
topics, okay?
So, what about your other teams? We could do the Come On Crawley update.
We could, but then we would lose a lot of people.
Oh, no. People are dying to know that Crawley is doing well. And did you see that Manchester United played in the FA Cup? And almost. Well, they made a game of it. They played Newport.
Did they lose to Newport? I
No.
thought
Did
they
you
beat
know
'em.
Marcus Rashford was left out of the
Yeah, I saw that.
starting squad because he was sick, but he was actually just out the night before clubbing.
He's,
That guy needs to be gone.
He's Savarino'd.
Yeah, he's totally Savarino.
Rashford?
Yeah, the dude is not worth the money.
He's got so much good play in him, though, man. Like,
Yeah, he does, but he's inconsistent and he's not motivated because he has so much money.
Didn't he see what happened with Greenwood, dude? Like, come on, man.
So anyway, they played.
He's
They were up
Greenwood,
2-0,
dude.
and
Yeah.
Newport. It's Newport.
Yeah.
Came back and tied them 2-2. Newport is 2 points behind Crawley in League Two, and they gave Manchester United all they can handle.
And then
But
Man
in the
United
end, they
won by a couple.
4-2. But it was. Yeah, Crawley is doing well. I'm sure you probably want to know more
Wrexham?
about. No, my trip.
Oh,
Yes.
Time
the
over
trip.
there.
Yes.
You know what I was thinking about? What could
Pray tell.
I share with the
did
Crawley
you
loving
see my
audience?
office face I just made to the camera?
Oh, nice one, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. No, what I found interesting is that over in England, maybe it's true everywhere else, you buy the away tickets from the home team. You don't go
Huh?
like on.
You don't go to the team that you're visiting. You don't go up to them and say, "Hey, I need to buy tickets." And you're a Crawley fan, but you're in Notts County.
Okay, you buy tickets
You buy tickets from Crawley,
From Crawley.
to go to Notts County.
to go to Notts County.
You can buy oftentimes you can buy tickets there, but they have a special away team gate.
Oh, gate. So you don't get.
Oh,
your
it's all
face kicked
separate.
in.
It's
Yeah.
all separate.
Everything's separate. Even in the National League.
Yeah.
In League Two, yeah.
Because Luton Town was in the National League a little while ago, and they have a separate entrance for the away.
Oh, that's the one that goes through the
backyard.
houses?
Yeah.
Like somebody's backyard?
Yeah. And
So-
then like the seats suck. Like the awning. Like if you're in the like top 10 rows, you can't see down the field.
You can't see the far
Yeah.
touchline.
But we went to MK
That's awesome.
Dons,
Did
and
you?
then the thing is interesting is you go
Milton-
Such a good name.
Milton Keynes,
MK
right?
Dons.
Milton Keynes,
Okay.
yeah, and they have a nice 30,000 seat stadium. But we were up in the corner, and you go through the visitors gate.
Mhm.
You go upstairs, and you have like 3 sections you can hang out in.
Okay.
You can't go around the stadium.
Oh, if
Well, it's
you,
also
if you step out
dangerous.
of your stadium,
It's dangerous to
they'll
do
beat
that
you
because
up.
there's a lot of people people get stabbed when they have people get upset like if the away team
They'll
wins.
shank you.
Yeah, you'll get poked.
And it was that way with every game. So it's even the same with. Although it was funny, we were at the first game was away to MK Dons. The second game was home, Crawley at Swindon Town, in our massive 6,000 seat stadium.
Massive.
They've got a pretty nice setup there. They got the little kind of like the setup, the pavilion with RSL. They got the turf, and you can kick the ball around. They got little kids can play.
Yeah.
3-on-3, 5-on-5. They got it set up there at Crawley, and this kid came around the corner and goes, "Oh man, this is so much better than Swindon." He's a Swindon fan.
Take
So-
that, stupid Swindon.
So,
Yeah.
Shank
Why don't
those
you
guys.
swind on out of here?
so we did take it to him, went 3-1 that game.
No
But-
kids were shanked in the filming of this
No,
podcast.
Just the grandson who fell and got a bloody nose and
Well, he had it coming. He had it coming.
spent most of the game with the security.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
But it turned out alright.
Oh man.
But it was sorry, Remy. And then the last
that's
game,
Remy.
it was Remy. Yeah, tripped right on the stairs
Oh.
and just right across the brim of his nose. They were worried it was broken, but it wasn't. He didn't get any black eyes, but there was a lot of blood.
Really?
His dad comes around. Oh, he got a bloody nose. He fell on the stairs. And then so he said, "I better go find security, see if they can get some help." And so Kennedy comes up with Raven, the other grandson, and he goes, "Where's Jeff and Remy?" I says, "Oh, he had to take him to A&E, which is like emergency."
Oh yeah.
She goes, "Wow!" Oh, and then so they got to meet all this
It was just a
first
scratch.
aid staff. No, it was more than a scratch. It was.
More like a flesh wound.
But then we went to the.
Alright, then we'll call it a
went up
draw.
north, drove past Manchester, and up to Leeds, and we went to the Bradford game, and that was another situation where you had to go around the back, and they had to search you. The guy goes, "Can I search you?" And I go, I use this both times, like, "How did you know I was American?" And we walk up in another situation where they've got the one concession stand for the away team, and then you can go like 3 sections, and that's it.
Mm.
But they do keep them pretty separated.
Did you get a pie and a beer?
I got a pie,
But not a beer.
not a beer.
You got to keep them separated.
Hey.
I did have some had a meat pie at Crawley and a meat pie at Bradford.
Who's meat
That was
pie's
one
better?
thing. That was the one thing that I really regret I didn't do was when I went to the Man U game back in 2009, when I got to watch Arsenal and Man U play for the finale.
So cool.
And I was like, we went downstairs and it was like all 2 pies, 2 beers, 3 pies, 3 beers, whatever, and everything was shoulder to shoulder. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. I'm claustrophobic. And I always regret, like, I should have just stayed there and just waited because I never got to try the pie.
That was really good. There is a pasty store here.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Dough Guy or something like that. Dough something.
Mm-hmm. Do re mi?
That they specialize in pasties, Scottish.
Ooh, Scottish ones.
Scottish pasties. huh?
Anyway, it was a good time.
Yeah.
And I have committed. I've been to 3 away games
Yeah.
for Crawley and haven't been to an away game from RSL.
Do you know what's crazy? I've never been to a Crawley game.
Really?
Yeah.
He
You
missed
run
it.
an away RSL game?
No.
Well,
Have
that's,
you?
No, I haven't. That's why I think it's pretty.
We should take a trip to like Texas or something like that and watch
Let's
Yeah,
go to
Miami.
Dallas. Yeah. Let's
But-
go to Dallas, Miami, RSL.
Oh, and RSL. Sorry.
That is
Yeah,
my
we should go to
goal, is
RSL.
to get to RSL away game, maybe multiple ones this year, because it's really interesting. We drove clear up north in England, and it was like 3 hours.
Oh, I know. How stupid
All
is
the way
that?
up north.
All the way up north, it's
Like
like
nobody
three and a
wants to
half
do that
hours.
down there.
It's
They're
like
like, oh,
Logan.
that's like 3 hours away.
It's like driving to Cedar City, and that's about the farthest away
Yeah.
that they have to go, and they're like, oh my gosh, we
It's
have
like
to
6
travel.
hours from tip to bottom.
And our closest opponent here is Colorado, and it's a 7 or 8 hour drive.
Well, and that's on a freeway where you can drive 80 to 90 miles the way, right? Like
Yeah, but
You gotta figure it out.
their
That's
driving
a
over there
long way.
is actually amazing. It's 2 lanes most of the time, but everybody's on the right side. And if you're going faster, you go into a passing lane and then
Yeah.
you come back, and it's like the most beautiful thing ever.
They are really
they're good
drivers.
drivers.
Yeah,
It's quite
Weird.
awesome, and everything's a roundabout. There's
I
no
couldn't
stoplights.
get this lady to move out of the fast lane, and there were 5 lanes.
Yeah.
5 lanes open.
Doesn't
Yeah,
happen.
that
all
doesn't
She
fly.
would not leave the fast lane.
That's what's insane is they have like half as much lanes, and they're just like way more efficient. It's weird how they're responsible.
So you should still drive 90 over there then?
No, you don't drive as fast, but you don't
Okay.
stop as much.
You can.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
can't go
you-
fast,
Lots of
I did.
roundabouts.
so you slow down. I like it because you never stop. You
Oh,
just
I got a
kinda slow
ticket.
down.
I got a ticket in a van the last time I went.
Oh
Really?
no.
Yeah, I was going like
Failure
80
to
and
yield?
like a 65 or something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
But I was like, it was like the first day, and I was like, I don't even know what I'm
But
doing.
that was in kilometers per hour, so it doesn't count.
Well, that's
That's
the
true.
thing. Like, if we could drive in kilometers, we get
No,
places
no,
a
it's
lot
in
faster.
miles over there.
Oh,
Miles
is it?
per hour.
Miles?
It is miles.
Oh.
Yeah,
But if you look at the speedometer, you can go a lot farther in kilometers.
it's true. Yeah.
But yeah, and one tip if you're going to go to England and watch some games, all of you Leeds United, Manchester front running teams,
Yeah.
Or Crawley supporters.
Crawley supporters,
There's
yes,
so
yeah.
many.
All of the new Crawley
So many,
supporters that are
yes.
just
All of our
flooding the airways with us,
fans.
following us. Get a stick shift when you go over there.
Oh, it's the best thing on the planet.
What?
So
It's
because
right-hand drive.
it's right hand drive, all the gears are the same, but you shift with the left hand. The reason you want to get a stick, and this is the according to me, is because you pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
You're forced to pay attention when you're driving. If you have an automatic, the most dangerous times when you're driving over there, if you're not used to driving on the other side of the road, is when like you stop and get gas. Because then you just kind of go into auto mode,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
just pull out of the gas station and you're
Yeah,
in
turn
the
right,
head on.
hard
And
right. And
The first time we went over, that happened a couple of times, and until you hear the screams in the back, wrong lane, wrong lane.
Yeah.
But that's usually when you're not thinking is when it's the most dangerous. So if you have a stick shift, you have to think about your driving all the time. So,
Good point. Good point.
That's top tips from Brandt Goebel.
Yep.
Thank you.
Top travel tips to England.
Tip top shape, huh?
Tip top of the morning.
Thanks for everybody jumping on the Crawley bandwagon.
Yeah, the Crawley boys.
And I will regale you with more stories in upcoming
He
episodes.
will regale you. He's going to regale you.
Regale you.
You better watch out for his regaling.
Yeah.
It could hurt.
Regale some
Leave
words.
him.
Oh,
for ya.
Yeah, like I did sponsor a player over the summer, Corey and I, and that just happened to be, I don't know if they knew I was coming, it just happened to be the game where they put my name up. So I got a picture of Brandt Goebel, home game shirt sponsor for Corey and I,
Really?
on the big screen at Crawley.
Oh, you didn't tell the people
What does
about
that mean?
your experience at the hotel.
Oh, I'll save that for another coming episode.
And
Upcoming
you
episode.
you are just
Brandt
I'm gonna
Goebel's
drag- I'm gonna
Hotel
drag
you
this
take
out.
one little thing and you're just like
Experiences.
a little thing here and then a little thing there.
Well, we've been yammering on.
All of the Crawley players in their underwear.
What? In your dreams. Anyway.
I thought this was communal. Just kidding.
I thought this was a PG podcast.
So anyway, thanks for listening. Had a great time. And
Good evening, good afternoon, and good night or something. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon.
Yeah.
thanks. What's that?
Sherman?
Yes.
Oh,
Movie.
Yeah, that guy.
Jim, what's his name?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Jim
Yeah.
Carrey.
The Thurman.
Truman.
Truman
The
Show.
Truman Show.
Thurman. That's close.
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman Show. There we go. We got that.
Thanks for joining us. We got a lot of big plans. You can follow us on Goals TV now.
Goals TV,
We're gonna
Instagram.
figure out this video thing and get it going. And
one day we'll look at the camera too.
yeah, we'll get.
Oh, I hardly ever looked. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get better at that.
So we'll get this going. We'll get it figured out.
And we gotta get a couch.
We gotta edit.
That's
Yeah.
your
I think
job.
it's your turn to edit.
Oh no, man! All right, whatever.
So yeah, follow us on social medias, and we are excited for the new season, and we look forward to seeing y'all. Thanks for listening.
Let's go, Real.
I can't reach the button from here.
It's okay. Do you want me to reach for it?
Yeah.
Man,
It's
what's
that
up with
big
you
red
and
one.
not liking Taylor Swift? You know?
Me or him?
You.